All right, welcome to MT4Professional. My name is Randy Lindsay. Sorry about the little hiccup there. It helps to make sure that you have the correct microphone selected. I did that before, but I had to restart, so somehow it got unselected. I apologize. Anyway, today's presentation on trading strategies using our MT4Professional platform is brought to you by Resilient Traders and MT4Professional. I'm Randy Lindsay. I'm your host today. Joining me is Claudio Cardinal. We are here to educate and teach you how to use the MT4Professional platform on either MT4 or MT5. Trading in stocks, futures, options, crypto, Forex has a large potential for reward, but it also has a large potential for risk. So make sure that you understand the risks involved and that you are willing to accept them in order to trade in any of these markets. MT4Professional and Resilient Traders are not registered trading advisors, so we cannot give you specific trade advice, but we can teach and train and educate you on how to use our remarkable platform on the live edge of the market. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so make sure that you do get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets. Today, I'm going to be going over trading strategies using the MT4Professional platform. I'll also introduce to you what a market scanner is and what MT4Professional is. And of course, I'll give you a live demonstration of the software on the MT4 platform. And I'll make a very special offer for those of you who aren't already members of our dynamic community. And I'll make a very special offer for you toward the end of today's presentation. And of course, all throughout today's presentation, there will be time for questions and answers. So getting right into the strategies. First of all, the most popular trading strategies around involve moving averages. So I'll show you one that involves a moving average with price. Everyone knows that moving averages are lagging indicators, but when incorporated with price, it gives you the closest thing to live performance. So when you couple that with a moving average and price, then you get a good strategy that is tradable. The MACD and signal is the ever popular, shows the dynamic convergence divergence of price over time, and gives really good entry and exit criteria. The ever popular moving average crossovers, using just either two or multiple moving averages to identify not only trend direction, but trade entries and exits. And then I try to combine them all together in an all-encompassing strategy that involves all three of the above, the EMA and Price, MACD, signal, moving average crossovers, even in throwing in a relative strength index to boot, showing the capabilities of MT4Professional and how it can be used to scan all the markets for these types of criteria and meet your specific conditions. So what is a market scanner and what is MT4Professional? If you look at all the pairs that are available, the CFDs, all the different time frames that you have access to, there's over 630 different combinations that you have to go through and check if you're looking for specific trade entries. Do you think that you're really able to do that on 630 different combinations all manually? Well, inevitably, you're going to miss an opportunity. You're not going to be on the euro, Australian dollar. You're not going to be able to see the S&P 500 take off if you're watching the gold or the silver. If you're in crypto, then you're going to miss a lot of other opportunities. So not all instruments move at all the time. You have to have multiple instruments if you're going to be diversified and if you're going to have full-time income from this venture. So if you're trading different instruments, you really need to make sure that you're uncorrelated and that they are trading together, and you got to be able to find them when they're going off, because it removes uncertainty in the market and it also gives you an opportunity to stay trading 24/7. So perfect solution for something like this would be a market scanner. A market scanner is a tool that automatically scans the market for you, looking for timeframes and symbols that you select based on your own custom rules that show you when they're ready to trade. Now, it's not a signal provider per se, but it's a tool that helps you to analyze the market using the strategies that you want to use and the indicators that you have employed. One simple example I mentioned earlier was the cross of two moving averages. The image on the right shows a simple demonstration, like a spreadsheet that shows two different time frames and a criteria that shows green being bullish, red being bearish, and yellow being neutral or undecided. And so if you couple that with the moving average cross, and we're saying that a bullish cross, which is the fast average moving over the slow, would be green. The bearish cross would be red. That's the fast average moving under the slow. And we were consider these on a simple moving average using 15 period and a 30 period. Now, the chart shows that this can be done not only on a single time frame, but on two time frames. So if I had a tool that could look at this criteria to say, okay, the Euro Swiss is neutral in the fast time frame, but it is bullish long term. So I'm looking for a potential change to go back in line with my longer term trend. That's a good strategy. And so a spreadsheet like this across all of the instruments I'm interested in would be an extremely useful tool. So what about multiple time frames? So did you know that if you trade using multiple time frames that you have a higher probability of a profitable trade? This is due to correlation because just one of the advantages of using multiple time frame technical analysis. On the right here, you can see several different time frames. This is the same envelope, but when you look at it from a 15-minute perspective, it's very choppy and noisy. You can see there are many, many moves and corrections that exist within that time frame. Within the hour, you can see a lot of this noise is smoothed out some and then smoothed out even more over a 4-hour time frame. So if you are trading a 15 or an hourly chart in the direction of the overall 4-hour chart, you're going to have a higher probability of capturing these longer moves without the corrections to the downside and making more profit. So trading in harmony with the longer time frame will result in a lower risk trade. So if you have a market scanner that can search for these types of setups that are based on your own rules and verify the trade with multiple time frame analysis, that too would be an extremely valuable tool. So why do we choose MT4 or MT5? Well, there are a lot of other professional platforms that are around that have built-in market scanners, but a lot of them brokers only work with MT4 or MT5. Actually, the vast majority of brokers in the world work on the MT4 or MT5 platform, giving you access to the best commission rates and different instruments available. Also, there are a lot of very good custom indicators that have been implemented only on the MT4 or MT5 platform, and a lot of them are free. So a good market scanner would also be able to give you access to all of these indicators, even the ones that are already standard and on both platforms. So the problem that we ran into, though, was that MT4 scanner was not available. There was no scanner available on MT4 or MT5. And we looked around. The ones that we did find were very unstable. They were multiple tools, or it was really not well integrated with the entire system. They were very complex, which meant you had to be a programmer to use them. And most of them were incompatible with the indicators that most people end up using. So our solution was to develop our own scanner. So MT4Professional is now the #1 market scanner on both MT4 and MT5. It is a tool that allows you to instantly scan the entire market for setups that match your own unique criteria and rules. And when you find a good setup, it even enhances it by enabling multiple time frame technical analysis, which really isn't that easy to do on MT4 or MT5. But on MT4Professional, it's a snap. So stay tuned. you'll learn a whole lot more. So let's get right into our live demonstration. Let me pull up my MT4 platform right here, expand it to full screen. You can see that I've got standard MT4 running. I've got a profile that's loaded up that's just running a chart with some indicators on it. And you can see I can move to other profiles. You can see I've got other things that can load up along those lines. You notice that the windows themselves are all separate. I've got multiple time frames on each one. If I move one window, then you can see that it doesn't do anything else to the other windows. I have to physically resize everything if I want to move them around. Notice that there's a lot of dead space out here in my window. So I have to rescale my entire document, or I have to go up and retile all the windows in order to get them to fit. And if I have another window that's a different size, for example, if I have a window that's small like this and I have two larger ones and I try to reorder them, then they're all going to get resized to the same size. So the problem with that is that it's just cumbersome. Also, notice that there are multiple symbols here. If I want to change the symbol, I have to drag and drop from my market watch the symbol on top of the chart in order to change the symbol. It doesn't change it for all of them. So that's kind of cumbersome as well. It's much easier to just be able to click on something and they all change and everything updates. If I were to go into full screen mode, you can see that I still have lots of unused space that's just really hard to get access to when I'm trading. So real estate is very important. So if I were to launch MT4Professional now, I will come up with a screen and a window that says select a configuration. Now, this is the very first thing you'll see when you launch MT4Professional is the configuration panel and then a selection of which preset that you want to load. I will start off by loading the EMA and Price. The EMA and Price is one which we are looking at a strategy where we're trying to trade based on price and the current moving average. This is a 15-period exponential moving average. And so I'm looking at price relative to that average. If the price is greater than the EMA, I'm bullish. And if it's less than the EMA, then I'm bearish. And the scanner over here is looking at that rule set. Okay, it's changing colors based upon whether the chart is bullish or bearish. Then when I compare that, say, for example, on a multiple time frame, notice the crosshairs show me where on the 30-minute chart I'm located and where that aligns with the 15-minute chart. Also note, it also aligns with the exact same spot on the hourly chart. Okay, so not only do I get current time and price alignment, but I can see exactly where first occurrence of a potential trade occurred. So you can see I got several closes up here, which would have given me a bearish signal, but none of those signals were verified by the second time frame or the third time frame. Notice it was at this point right here, okay, that I got first, second, and third time frame right there, right at the top of the hour. So when my 1 hour chart aligned with my 4 hour chart, my 30-minute chart, and my 15-minute chart, that gave me the optimal location for the trade. All right. I didn't have to worry about getting in or getting stopped out or getting messed around. I got in, I was able to stay in, and then I was able to get out. So the optimal trade was given to me through the use of multiple time frames and a rule which gave me a potential entry or exit criteria. How did I see this setup? The scanner shows me when I have alignment across all 3 time frames. Let's look at the dollar Canadian, for example. You can see the 15-minute is currently red. Notice that the price has traded under the EMA, but the 30-minute right here and the hourly are both green. They're both bullish because the price is greater than the moving average. Well, this is showing two things. Number one, it's showing a potential turnover or reversal in the trade. I might be getting ready to go short, and all of this bullishness that you saw here is now going to start turning into bearishness. But I can see on my 30-minute that that's just a simple pullback to the current EMA. Likewise, it could be the same thing. So while the EMA used to be a resistance area, now it's broken through and is starting to act like support. So it's a great way to analyze and to see that. So instead of getting into a trade and possibly being stopped out by a quick pullback due to hitting the longer term EMA, you trade in harmony with the longer term markets, then you're waiting for this to potentially pull back and give you a nice return to a potential long. So if this turns back to green again, then you're right back in and ready to take that for a second run. Otherwise, if you start to see the 30-minute turn red, then you know that you're going to start seeing the cycle back and possibly return to a much longer term downtrend, because you can see high, low, higher high, higher low. Here's a new low. Here's a new high, lower high. So you've got a whole downtrend that's already running in that direction. So why not trade in that same direction? That's the whole idea behind this strategy. You can also see the potential for the upside as well. This is the live edge right now. Previously, if you had traded up to this point, you can see a close above. You would have gotten a signal that was green on the scanner. Okay. At the same time, you would have gotten a red, and you would have gotten a red. So you're sitting here, you're waiting. The next bar, you're still green. The next bar, you're still green, but then you see the 30-minute turn green. Okay, sorry, one more right there. Then you see the 30-minute turn green. Here, the 30-minute closed above and turned green. Here you see the 1 hour also closed above and turned green. This is now safe to enter. Potential for the trade now becomes 53 or 60 pip trade. All right, so those who trade the US dollar Canadian, that's a good move. So you can see the safety in waiting for the trend to align and to go in tune with each other. Now, it had not broken the prior resistance yet, but it was a confident trade because the price was valid across multiple time frames, and it was in line with what the longer term is already working on. So that's the idea behind it. You put the criteria and the rules in the configuration. So now let's look inside the meat. If I were to expand my chart to full screen, notice that all of the charts redraw themselves to full screen. See that? That's full use of the entire platform. I love it. It's very quick. It's very simple. And when I go back to standard mode, it redraws for me automatically. Any symbol that I click on, it automatically changes and updates the charts. And you can see the multiple time frame crosshairs give me just the exact time and price I need to see in order to perform multiple time frame analysis very quickly and easily. And I can set that up for any of the symbols on my list, or using the configurator, I can set up any symbol that's available to me on my platform. Whatever your broker provides, you have the full symbol list for it. So let's take a look at some of these configurations. Let me edit that. And looking at the charts, you can see that I have 3 different charts set up here on this template. I've got the time defined. I have the template defined. And if you don't like the template that's currently on there, you can always go and change the template by clicking the plus sign and selecting any of the templates that you have already developed on your platform. Now, these don't have to be developed in MT4Professional. You can have them already developed. All you have to do is just load them here inside the system. Once it's loaded, then you'll see it on the pull down menu here so that you can load it up on any of the other chart selections. And like any other time frame, you can select any time frame that you have access to on your MT4 platform. Once you have everything loaded, you can create new charts if you wanted to. Once you've created new charts, then you can tile them or arrange them in any column or row configuration that you like. You can even manually drag them around, resize them, make them whatever configuration that you like. Okay, so it's very, very easy to do. See, so I'll just cancel that since I already had it the way I like it. So that's the chart configurations. On the left-hand side, you can see the scanner panel. That's this area right over here that shows the charts, the scanner. On the left-hand side, you can define the symbol lists that are available to you within MT4. So any MT4 symbol that is provided to you by your broker is available on the left-hand side. Select the ones that you like by clicking on them. Hold down the Shift key to select multiple ones, or the Control key to skip and just select other multiple ones. And then just hit the right arrow to add them to the display list that you have over on the right. If you want to change these, then just clear them, select the ones that you like, and create a new one. If you have already created a list from a previous configuration, then just click this button, select the configuration that you want, and load it up. Okay, it's that simple. And last but not least is the scanner. The scanner is the tool that changes the colors based upon your specific rules. Now, the color rule is where the actual meat of the program is. If you click on the pencil that's under the pull-down menu, then it brings up the editor that allows you to change your configuration. What this is looking at is price, the current price, has to be greater than a 15-period exponential moving average. This can be selected from your MT4 platform, and you can define price very easily from your MT4 platform as well, just by simply selecting the indicator value, choosing from the indicator categories the price variable, and then selecting what you want price of. Current price, the open, the close, the high, or the low. You can have access to any of those. So if you're looking for any type of price interaction with a moving average, then you have access to any of those. I've currently selected current price relative to the exponential moving average. Now, this is the standard exponential moving average that's based upon the close of price. If I were to edit that, then you can see I have access to change any of the input parameters and to scale it and even shift it in time if I wanted to for these inputs. If I change the indicator on one panel, it'll automatically update and change on the other panel. And if I have other moving average I would like to see, say I have a 15-period exponential, I want to load a 15-period, maybe a 30-period, then what I'll do is I'll just look at my 15-period. My 15-period also has to be greater than, I'm going to add a 30-period. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Select, it's in the trend category, is the moving average there. I'll use that indicator. Instead of it being a 15, I'll make it a 30-period exponential moving average based on the close of price. But in this case, I want it to be typical price, which is the high, low, and close divided by 3. Click OK. So now I'm looking at a exponential 15 period being greater than an exponential 30 period based upon typical price. That's going to be my new criteria for changing the color of the cell to green, which is a bullish color. So I'm looking for price to be greater than, and I'm looking for the 15 to be greater than the slow one, the fast being greater than the slow. That's a moving average crossover. So I can do both because I've got and operator here. Both of these conditions have to be true in order to get a bullish condition. Now notice if I were to do the same thing on the sell side, I've got price has to be less than my 15-period EMA. When I pull this up, then I've already got the indicators available over here. So I have to say the 15-period then now has to be less than my 30. It's already been loaded. It's already configured and set up. And there it is. I have two conditions, bullish and bearish. If neither of these conditions are true, then by default, the default color will be listed there. And always give your strategies, your custom rule sets a name. I've just called this one the main color rule, but I could easily call this bullish indication. I could call it directional indication. I could call it entry signal. It doesn't matter what you call it. Just give it a name so that you can always refer to it later on. Because when you're done with the setup here, main color rule, you can see that that's going to be what you either turn on or turn off. And you can have more than one color rule also, so you need to be able to tell the difference between them. And you have multiple color rules based upon how complex your strategy is. This is a very simple strategy, so it only requires one color rule. If you want to show the indicator output, then put the name of the indicator you want to have here, and then it will show on your screen the actual value of the indicator. Most people don't use that, so it's usually preferable to leave this blank. It's optional. And then if you have a name, then instead of using default the time frame name, then you can give it a specific name here, and it will put that in. So if you didn't want the M, you could type in the number 15 here, or you could even call this one fast, medium, or slow time frame. And that would be displayed as the column on the screen. And so you can see I have different time frames listed. The 15-minute is here. Here's a 30-minute. And if I scroll down a little bit, there's the hourly chart. All right, let me make this full screen. If I were to click one more, I'll show you how easy it is to add one more time frame. So if I want to go to the 4-hour, enable that color rule, boom, that's all I needed. I now have 4 time frames I'm scanning on using the main color rule criteria for searching criteria. If I had a different color rule, then I could define that for my 4-hour chart to say, okay, I'm only looking for long trades, so I'm applying that to a 4-hour directional trade. And then I'm trading my 15-minute chart based upon the direction I see on my 4-hour chart. That's very valid, but you need 2 different color rules to do that. And one could be applied to here, and then the other one could be applied to here, just by simply turning it on or turning it off. Okay, see how easy that is? And last but not least, there's the real-time notifications box. By turning this on, then you turn on the system notifications within MT4 to give you on-screen pop-ups, email messages for alerts in the setup. And you can also verify that your phone numbers, and so that you can start receiving SMS messages as well. Right. I recommend that you don't turn this on until you verify that the system is working properly. And if you're using small or very fast time frames, you're going to get a lot of notifications. So make sure that you have all that ironed out first before you turn this on. And if you already have a configuration that's already set up with rules and you want to use that as a template, then just simply click this button, and it pulls up all of the rules that you have from the previous configuration, and then you can change them, modify them, and then save them as a new configuration. Are there any questions so far? All right. Well, that was the EMA and Price. Let me pull up the MACD, and we're starting to run out of time here. So let me go ahead and pull up this one, which actually pulls them all together. So I can show you the MACD and signal. I can show you the relative strength, and I can show you the moving average crosses. So let me load that one up. See, so what I've got here is I've got a chart which is showing moving average and price. I've got a MACD showing the histogram and the signal line, and I have relative strength down here on the bottom showing me overbought or oversold conditions. And you can see over on the left, I'm using it on 3 different time frames: 4-hour, daily, weekly. And you can see here's my 4-hour chart, here's my daily chart, and here's my weekly chart. Okay. So you can see I've got green, I've got red, I've got neutral. Most of the time I'm looking for bullish setups, bearish setups, or neutral, depending upon what trade I'm looking for. So let me look at the configuration. let me edit it and let me show you the configuration that I've used for this signal. I called it a strong signal. Let me edit it and show you what the rules are. The rules are very simple. I'm looking at the MACD, in this case, the base indicator, which is the histogram. I'm looking to see if it's less than the MACD signal line. Let me see that right there. So if the histogram, in this case, right here, is less than the signal line, then this is a bearish setup that I'm looking for right here. So right here, I'm looking to try to sell. This one's saying the close of price has to be less than my 15-period exponential moving average. So this is the first place where I have the close of price less than this 15-period moving average. Right here, I need to see that my prior relative strength is greater than my current relative strength. So relative strength, prior, current. So I'm looking for an upslope. All right, I'm trying to find a trend of strength. So looking for that trend of strength. I think that is incorrect because the relative strength should be declining in a downtrend and increasing in an uptrend. So I think that this should be less than. No, I was right. I was correct, because previous has to be greater than the current, which means it's going down. Yep. All right. So that's my bearish condition. I would consider that a strong signal, and I will define it as such. And the bullish condition is just the opposite. You have a bullish cross of the MACD, you have price greater than the EMA, and you have a rising RSI. And that's the conditions that we have here. The RSI previous is less than the RSI current. Previous, current, that's bullish, right? Questions? Okay. I have it defined for 3 different time frames, so I'm looking at it on all 3 of these charts. And then as you can see here, I've got it loaded on the scanner, and it's giving me these setups based upon the current configurations of each chart. Let's see, there's a question there. It says the window changes every time when a signal on another chart occurs. Yeah, that's probably a bug or something. It's not common. This is the first time I've heard of that problem, Peter. So yeah, I saw that you had sent in an email, and we're scheduled to get together. So let's get together so we can sit down and I can look at your setup and platform and see if we can't get that to stop. I don't think that's a normal behavior. It should behave just very much like what you see on my chart. You can do anything that you want, whether signals go off or not, on the chart without it changing everything. So we need to get together. Corey, can we somehow set a parameter for the MACD to signal when the histogram crosses below the 0? Absolutely. And also for the RSI to cross the 70 or 30? Yes, absolutely. So if in this case, if you have a histogram or signal crossing the 0 line, and you've got RSI either greater than 70 or less than 70, then those are all very much usable and potential signals that you can set up and use on your scanner. Absolutely. Not a problem at all. And you can see that too. If you open up the window, data window, you can see the actual output of the RSI and the output of each of these signal lines. So when you move your mouse over each of the windows, then you can see that at one certain point, you're going to see that the MACD goes negative. Let me move it over into more negative. There it goes. See, notice it went from positive to negative. So you can scan for that. And the RSI value, you can scan for the RSI value to see whether it is greater than pull it up in this area here. There it is, 71. It's greater than 70 or less than 30. And anytime those conditions are met, then it will show you the color change here on your scanner. Very simple and easy setup to do. So if we were to go through and do that real quickly, then currently I have the MACD rule set looking at the histogram crossover with the signal line. But if I wanted to create a new rule, and I want to say, let's see the histogram, I want to see if the histogram is going to be greater than 0. So I have to add a new indicator here, a constant value 0. So if my MACD now is greater than 0, that's what I want to look for. Or in your case, if you're looking for the RSI, then you want to see if your RSI is overbought or oversold. So let's look at the current RSI price to see if it is greater than 70. That would be overbought. Okay. Or if it's less than 30, it would be oversold. Or if it's greater than 30 and less than 70, well, then you're in a nice range. And then you can check to see if the slope is positive or negative. So there's lots of things that you can do to it. You're not limited in any way how you would be able to use your parameters. If there's a rule you want to change, just simply delete it, cross it off your list, hit the cancel button not to save it, or click OK if you want to save it, and so forth. And so it's very simple. It's very intuitive. Anybody can sit down and have a custom configuration up and running in no time. That's trading your rules, your strategy on your own setup. All right. And this is the Alligator Strategy on 4 different time frames. So just basically using 3 different moving averages, the jaws, the teeth, and the lips. And you're trying to see if the lips are less than the jaw and the teeth, then that gives a bullish setup, and bearish setup is if, that's a bearish setup, and then a bullish setup is if the jaws are greater than, the lips are greater than the jaws and the teeth. That's all set up. All of these preset configurations right here, are available to you right here when you join MT4Professional. And if you've seen any of the configurations that I've created, or someone else may have created, you can share those directly with somebody else on the platform. So if I were to click the edit button, notice the little share button over in the bottom right corner. All I have to do is click that, type in a user's name, and then all I have to do is select the name of the user that I want to send it to, and it'll automatically share my configuration I just created with them. The configuration will show up down in the bottom of this configuration panel in the inbox. So all you have to do is click create your custom configuration, select that received email or inbox value, and you'll have your own rule set there ready to go based upon what they had done. So yes, they're all already there and it's all ready to go. One other really nice feature within the system is that in the MT4Professional members area, you can see, you can have full access to all of the signals in real time that are generated from the scanner. And say, for example, that you need to go to lunch, but you can't take your computer with you. You have your mobile device, you have your phone or your laptop. Well, you can see this is a browser, and I pulled it up to the members area. And if I go over to the MT4 RealTime Scanner, then you can see I have access to my real-time scanner window based upon the system that I'm using. So if I were to load up and create a configuration, let me pull this up here. This one. Then I have currently loaded the Euro US dollar on 3 different time frames. You'll see that the scanner itself loads up with the exact same scanner that's on my laptop. On my desktop computer. So when I want to interact with any of these symbols, say for example, I want to change the symbol from the euro to the pound, then all I have to do is click on my mobile device and it automatically changes the symbol on my desktop and it retrieves a snapshot of the configuration to show me, this is a really great bullish setup that I've got here. I think I want to execute a long trade off of this based upon the current setups. So that way you can go anywhere. You're not tied down. You can take a lunch break. You can go and visit your friends, all while MT4Professional is working for you, and you can take it with you and never miss a trade. You also have full access, of course, to the documentation center. So by going into the documentation center, you have full access to any of the videos and support information that you need on the scanner, on the configuration of the workspaces, on the rule sets, even on your own subscription plan and your license and the credit card that you use. So all of that is manageable and you can use them all directly from our knowledge base within the members area. So you have all of that access to. And of course, you have access to download the software itself anytime directly from our portal by coming in and doing that. And don't forget, you can also become part of our referral network. If you really love it and you want to tell others about it, then we'll be glad to pay you for that, for your referral. Yes, if you have Heiken-Ashi candles available on your platform, then you can use those and you have full access to those through the data window panel as well. So yes, there's not a problem using Heiken-Ashi candles either. VPS would be a good option. And if you want the platform to have full access all the time, then yes, you'd probably have a VPS option set up and running on that. It works perfectly fine as a VPS. It's not a requirement, but you do have to have your desktop running in order to use it from a mobile location. That's correct. Absolutely. All right, well, let me get back to my presentation then, because I want to make you a very special offer here before we get back into more questions. Today, for limited time, I'm offering the entire MT4 and MT5 professional system. That's a full software package for both MT4 or MT5. You get access to our exclusive Skype group, which is a group of users who are using MT4Professional, and you can have questions to them anytime, 24/7. I'm on there as well as Claudio, so we have full use of that to develop something, share trades, or even share configurations with each other. You have full unlimited configuration storage on the cloud, unlimited emails and push notifications, and you get up to 100 SMS notifications included every month. If you go over this notification limit, you can purchase additional SMS notifications to pad your need as you needed that. And you get all of the pre-configured examples. There are 14 different presets available when you start your subscription. Yeah, that's a total value, but you're not going to pay that. Most of the time we have it set up to pay $194 per month. But because you're part of my webinar today, we're even slashing that and making it available to you at half of that, which is $97 a month, a very reasonable and affordable number. Most people take home $97 in a single hour if they're trading our system. So $97 a month is very, very affordable based upon the capabilities and limitations that we have built on the system. You have a 14-day free trial available, so there's no risk. You can try it for 14 days before you ever pay a penny. If by the end of the 14 days you're not completely satisfied, then all you have to do is cancel and submit a cancellation request, and you will be canceled right away. But make sure you cancel before the 14 days is over, because at the end of the 14th day, it'll automatically bill you $97. And this isn't a one-time fee. The savings that you realize is good for life. And so you'll be locked in, and you don't have to worry about losing this discount on any future payments. So the link is mt4professional.com/trial to get started right away, to get your very own copy of the software. Give it a try. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback on Trustpilot. Check out all of our comments and our ratings. We are very highly rated, and many users are just thrilled to have the #1 scanner in the marketplace on their platforms. So mt4professional.com/trial. Take advantage of the 14-day free trial and the 50% discount to $97 per month on these trades. So let me get back to my platform. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller now so you can still see the link and the terms of our offer for you. If you do, however, need to get a hold of us, then you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com for questions, or if you need additional help, you can always get support that way as well. So I wanted to make sure that you could see that there. So now, are there any specific questions or configurations that you'd like to see that possibly could be used? Now, there was a question earlier about custom indicators. You can use MT4Professional with any custom device or indicator that produces an output. So the data window is key to this. So if you have custom indicators that produce an output, then if the output is visible and you can see them on your data window, then you can fully use that within the MT4Professional system, because the system looks at the output of the indicators and can make decisions based upon those outputs to determine color. And once the color is there, it can be displayed and shown. I've got one quick configuration here I can show you that demonstrates custom configurations. Here I have some custom indicators that are loaded and are running on the system. Here you can see that the scanner is not only running through simple timeframe scans, but it's running through multiple scanner rules on multiple different timeframes. So I have 3 different criteria for each timeframe. Here I have 2 different criteria, and then on this timeframe I only have 1 criteria that I'm looking for. The criteria that I'm looking for are trend, volume, and momentum. The second time frame, I'm only looking at momentum and volume. And the third time frame, I'm only looking at volume. So when I see an alignment across all of these, it shows me that I have great strength not only in trend and volume, but in momentum. And when you have price and volume working together, then that's a very strong move. So let me push on the pound dollar, and you can see here I'm pretty strong across the board. But my second time frame, which is the 15-minute, is showing some weakness across that. So that weakness there is of a concern. So I would definitely be concerned about that move. The pound Aussie also is looking extremely strong. So you can see across there, it looks like it's a very strong breakout even right now. So this looks like a good breakout move with a potential of about 20 pips minimum up to overhead resistance. And then based upon the longer time frame, you can see that it still has a little bit ways to go. So that's the value of the scanner. When you put the rules in and you look at it, then you can see what looks good and what's currently configured and set up properly, and then what's very much tradable. The configuration, absolutely. You can see the rules that I have 3 different color rules that identify the trend. And when I load the indicator that I'm going to use, then I simply pull up an indicator, which is based on my computer. Now, these are all the standard indicators that are part of MT4 or MT5, but from here you can select any indicator that you currently have on your computer. So any of these Hawkeye tools are custom indicators, and so I can select any of those, or any ones that you have written yourself for that matter. You can select any of those, and once you do select them, then you have access to all of the input parameters. If you leave this value selected, then it's going to use the defaults unless you specifically select the parameter that you're looking for that you want to change. And the line to use is the output. So all the indicators can have up to 8 different outputs that you select. And so by selecting an output, you're looking at, say, maybe the MACD signal line. Here's the MACD histogram. You're looking for the RSI. So if your indicator incorporates all of those types of variables, then you can access them directly here through the output variable line. Very, very straightforward and easy to use. Corey, could you please set up a moving average cross of an 8, 20, 50? 8 and 20 crossing above or below a 50. Yes, that's quite easy. Let me see if I've got, well, the Alligator kind of does that already, but let me see if I've got a moving average cross. There it is. It's an 821. Here's a 513. This one, the charts show 4 different time frames. The scanner is using 3. Let's see what the setup is on the criteria. Yeah, it's just doing an 821. So here I'm looking for the moving average, an 8-period exponential moving average being greater than a 21. So this one is disclosure price. So you want to see an 821. So in this case, we'll choose the indicator, we'll load trend, moving average, use that indicator. We'll set this up as a 21. You didn't specify simple or exponential, so I'll make it exponential. So there's my 21. This is a, oh, it already was a 21. I should make that one 20. Yeah, you 20, sorry. That was my bad. I'll make it a 20. It's currently based on closer price, but you can make it based upon any price that you have access to. So now I have a 20 here that I can compare with the 8. The 8's already there, so I'll just use it. All right, so here you're looking to see if you really want to see the 8 because it's the faster one. And you want to see if that 8 is greater than the 20. Let me get rid of that, and let me get rid of that. So if your 8's greater than your 20, and now you want to see the 50. So let's go ahead and add the 50 in there also. Indicator, trend, select the moving average, use that one. We'll make this one the 50. Exponential, based on the close. Now I have a 50 in there. So in this case, I want to do a, oh, sorry. I'll pull that one down, pull my 8 in. My 8 has to be greater than the 50. And my 20 has to be greater than the 50. Boom, just like that. That's bullish. The bearish configuration would be just the opposite. The 8 has to be less than the 20. There's the 21, we'll use the 20. Here, my 8 has to be less than the 50. And the 20 has to be less than the 50. Boom, there's your condition right there. There's your below. If this is true, it's going to turn the cell green. You know it's a bullish setup. If this is true, it's going to turn the cell red. You know it's a bearish setup because all of these have to be true in order for it to change the condition, the color. If neither of these are true, it will change the color to yellow. And of course, you can change the colors to be any color that you want. So you're not stuck with green and red. That's standard, but you can make it any color that you want, that you prefer. And you don't have to have these just two conditions. You know, this plus sign here allows you to add as many conditions as you want in order to have the rule sets that meet your specific criteria. Okay. So this then becomes that's EMA 8, 20, 50. The EMA 8, 20, 50 is on a 5, 15, and hourly. Okay. And if I save that, then this one says 8. Let's call that a 20. Make that a 20 and a 50. And they're actually EMAs. Let me change that, make sure that is correct. And it only has 3 time frames, 5, 15, and 1 hour. Save. And load. See, so now I've got that same. This one's just using, looks like the template. Yeah, this template only has on it a 21 and an 8. So let's change that indicator list. Let's change this one to a 20. Okay, let's go and find our trend moving average load. This one will be a 50. Let's exponential and close. Let's change the color to yellow. Let's make it orange. There. There's the 50. All right. There's 50 cross. There's the 20, and there's the 8. You can see all locations. Let's make that a template. Template. There it is. Save template. There. So when I go back into my configuration now and edit my chart, now I want to load not the 821 template. I want to load my 82050 template. It's loaded here. So now all I have to do is just pull the menu down and select it from the list for my other time frames. Select OK, save, and load. Now you can see I've got all 3 of my time frames on all 3 of the charts, all 4 of the charts actually, but I'm only looking at 3 of the charts for my setups. That's exactly what you want. So, Corey, are you currently an MT4 Professional user? Because if you are, I can send this to you right now. No. Well, I didn't say, are you a professional? I said, are you currently a subscriber to our platform, MT4 Professional platform? Not yet? Okay. Well, I was saying, if you were, then I could send this scanner to you right now, this configuration I just built. But if you're not, go ahead and take a trial and then send us a message or join our Skype chat group and ask me to send the SMA 82050 configuration to you, and I'll be more than glad to do that. That's why I've currently called it. I've called it SMA Cross 82050, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it now because it's not an SMA, it's actually an EMA. And I will send that to you. EMA 8, EMA 20, and EMA 50. So that's the current one that I'm doing. All right. So let me know. I'll be glad to send it to you. If there aren't any more questions, then I'm done for the day. So thank you very much for your time and for your attention. I appreciate the questions. I hope I was able to demonstrate for you the power and the usefulness. I can see that there's a lot of potential in this particular setup. You can see the crossover of the 3 timeframes, the value of that 3 timeframe setup. Potential 40 pip trade just on the euro US dollar right there. So that looks nice. All right, no more questions. Then again, take advantage of our offer today by clicking the link mt4professional.com/trial. Take advantage of the $97 per month special, 14-day free trial. And of course, you can always get a hold of us at support@mt4professional.com or on our Skype channel. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook and on our YouTube channel as well. This is a month-to-month subscription. Yes, it is. But you do have other options to pay, whether you want to pay quarterly or annually for better discounts. You have that option when you sign up. All right, thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm signing off. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And I'll see you this time in 2 weeks. Bye for now.